some ladies might ask, what about for those ladies who are having their periods and then they want to recite some verses of Al-Quran which they are used to recite during normal days. When it comes under dhikr, something that you do it continuously every day, then you are allowed to do the recitation which you do it normally with the intention of dhikr. This is allowed in Madhab Shafi'i as what has been taught by our scholars. Most important is that you don't recite new verses of Al-Quran which got nothing to do with your wird, your normal recitation, daily recitation. Because some of the recitations, an example, consist of verses of Al-Quran from Wird al-Latif. An example, Surah Al-Mulk before you sleep. An example, Surah Al-Waqi'ah after Asr. An example, Surah Yasin in the morning. Ayatul Kursi before you sleep. And other verses of Al-Quran which it's a form of wird you do every day. Then you are allowed to do so even if you are in your period. But if you are not used to do it, then start. You intend to start, so what you should do, you should start the wird during your non-period days, and then when your period comes, you just continue with the wird, excluding the new recitation of Al-Quran. An example, you have a form of recitation of Al-Quran every day. You recite 4 or 5 pages, or maybe half a juz or 1 juz. Those recitations are not allowed during your period days. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على خير ابتغاء قربه وثوابه ووجهه سبحانه وتعالى. اللهم ارزقنا يا رب فهم النبيين وحفظ المرسلين وإلهام الملائكة المقربين في عافية يا رب العالمين. قال الشيخ المؤلف أدام الله النفع به وبكم في الدارين آمين رضي الله عنكم. We will answer some questions which has been given to us. Okay? Now, as how we have mentioned, iddah for pregnant woman ends when she delivers. Okay? Regardless if she just started getting pregnant at the beginning, regardless if she just started getting pregnant maybe only 2 weeks, her iddah finishes when she delivers. Or even she is already pregnant for 9 months and then after 2 weeks she delivers, her iddah ends as soon as she delivers. Now, that is iddah for pregnant ladies. What about those people, na'udzubillah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection, who has fallen into zina? They fell into zina and then they get pregnant. In the first place, there's no iddah because she wasn't married before. Iddah is only for married women. Again, iddah is only for married women. Those who are not married before, they have no iddah. So sometimes we know this happened in our community, when they had zina and then they get pregnant, then they want to cover it. So what they do? They do nikah. But this type you can cover at one place, but there will be a problem in another side. Because why? Because for the mother, the child is the mother's child, regardless of whatever it is. But in Madhab Shafi'i, the child is not related to the father, even though to her biological father. In Sharia, the father is not the biological father is not known as her father. So if he dies, the child is not supposed to receive any inheritance from the biological father. Even though you are very sure that this is her biological father, but in Sharia he is not considered as her father. Tamam. That is the ruling in Madhab Shafi'i. Rabbana ighfir li wa tub alayya innaka antat tawwabur rahim. We will take some other questions. We mentioned not to expose one's previous sins when Allah has covered our sins. Yes, true. To what extent do we withhold information or hide truth? Or to what extent do we maintain integrity of information in efforts to decide the kufurness of a kafir? As how we have mentioned, we are supposed to cover our past sins regardless of whatever it is. Tamam. We are not supposed to mention anything about our past sins. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has covered our sins, so we are not allowed to expose our sins. Then comes the question, when the husband found out that she has broken her hymen, when he got married to her, so what is she going to answer? In the first place, it is always good to clarify the matter, to tell the prospective group that she has broken her hymen, and she is not supposed to mention that she has fallen into zina before. She is not to mention about that at all. She is not allowed. Because why? There are many things that will happen if she recognizes herself with zina. We're not going to mention that here. Especially if she has done tawbah. Allah SWT has covered her sins, she should cover herself. Allah SWT has covered you, why do you want to expose yourself? That is one thing. And if she was asked why her hymen was broken, there are few things in Sharia where it is allowed to lie. It is allowed to lie, but I'm not sure if it falls in this matter as well. But as much as possible, tawriyah is the best. What is tawriyah? Tawriyah is not to lie, but not to mention the direct truth. Why do you break? It's best that she clarify the matter so that there will not be any clash or fight after marriage, especially when the husband found out that she's not virgin anymore. It's a big matter. Allahu a'lam about. For some people maybe it's a small matter, but for some other people, especially in Muslim countries or people, those countries which they preserve Islamic culture and Islamic lifestyle, it's a big matter to them. Especially if they don't know what has happened in the past to that person. Tawriyah is not to mention the direct truth without lying. Means you will say, I broke my hymen because of maybe we did it. Sometimes, ladies need to go through some medication that need to insert something in her rahim, in her womb. So maybe she can say that I had to insert something in the womb. There was time in it, so it broke, something like that. Without mentioning direct truth, without saying that I did zina or whatever it is. No, she shouldn't mention those things. I'm not sure in this matter if lying is allowed, but let me check and let me get back to all of you next week, inshallah. Imam Nawawi did mention in two of his books, Riyadh al-Salihin and Al-Adhkar, about the permissibility to lie. There are few things where we are allowed to lie. Number one, to protect our life or a Muslim's life. An example, an oppressor or a gangster or anyone who wants to kill a person unlawfully. Remember the word unlawfully. Just because maybe an alim, he is there's an oppressor, very oppressive leader. He wants to kill this alim, and then this leader or maybe his assistants, maybe police or whatever it is, come to you and ask, "Do you know where's the alim?" So what you should do? You should lie and you should say, "No, I don't know." Because why? You're going to protect someone's life from being killed unlawfully. This is the keyword, unlawfully. If he's supposed to be killed lawfully, an example, he has murdered someone, and then police come to search for him because he's supposed to be caught and he's supposed to be prosecuted. And then the police come and ask you, "Do you know where's Fulan?" You cannot lie in there. Because why? He is supposed to be killed lawfully. The same goes to protect someone else's wealth. It is allowed for us to lie. Someone, he came to someone's house. An example, the communists, they like to do this. They will go to some houses and they will take people's belonging unrightfully. So when the owner of the house or when someone who is asked by the communist, for example, where is his wealth? This one, this, you can say, "No, I don't know." Or maybe he has taken with him, or he has sent overseas, or whatever it is. The best is tawriyah, as how we have mentioned. What is tawriyah? We give a simplest example. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was doing hijrah from Mecca to Medina, he was under strict surveillance of the Quraysh. The Quraysh tried to search him as much as possible, and they even offered 100 camel for the life of Rasulullah for the body of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alive or dead. So what did he do? Then some people come and ask him, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Ma." And they were asking, "Which tribe are you from?" They were asking, "Where are you from?" means, "Which tribe are you from?" Rasulullah SAW, "I'm from Ma." I'm from water. There's a tribe amongst the Arabs, they are known from the tribes of Ma. So Rasulullah SAW, he didn't say that he was from the tribes of Ma, but he was mentioning he was created from Ma. That is his intention. There's tawriyah. There's no lie there. Another thing, there was once when Rasulullah also during hijrah, Rasulullah was standing in a place, and some people saw him. They were looking for him. He said, "Did you see Muhammad?" Rasulullah was standing, and Rasulullah took one step aside, and then Rasulullah said, "I saw him, he was there earlier." He was there earlier. So there is no lie there. That is true. Rasulullah he doesn't lie. It is not possible at all that Rasulullah will ever lie. Rasulullah speaks the truth, but this is tawriyah, indirect truth. So even though in situations where we are allowed to lie, we should try our best not to lie. We should try to use indirect truth. That is very important, because someone who lies once, they tend to think how to lie again and again and again. And to stop us from totally lying, so we use tawriyah. Rabbil firli wa tub alayya innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Fine. Efforts to decide the kufurness of a couple. We have mentioned kufurness. How to measure the kufurness of a couple. Depends if it's an Arab, non-Arab, it's religious background, it's a job, his family, descendants, so on. What if a girl is no longer virgin, and she decides to cover up and lie to protect her dignity? Then husband finds out the truth after marriage and he's unable to accept that she's not a virgin. What can the couple do? Well, it depends on the husband, what he wants. He wants to divorce her, he divorces her. He wants to continue his life with her, he continues his life with her. At the same time, yes, indeed, she has done something which is big, something which is grave, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most forgiving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most forgiving. Rabbi firli wa tub alayya innaka antat tawwabur rahim. They should come to discuss, husband and wife must always have a mutual discussion. They can discuss something properly. Big problems, what to do? You and me in the problem, we have to solve the problem. Don't run away from problems. You will just create more problems by running away from problems. But what if the matter is not regarding virginity, but that of mental illness, addiction issues, or bad debts? Is the ruling of covering ayib still applicable? What if the spouse finds out the truth after marriage and finds the matter unacceptable? About mental illness, we have mentioned that if there's a problem with mental illness, is there fasakh in mental illness? There's no fasakh in mental illness. Actually, there are matters. It will come in the few topics in the future, inshallah. This is about wilayah. There's no fasakh in mental illness. These are very general things. Debts, mental illness, addiction issues. There is no, you are in a marriage, so now then you find out that the husband or the wife is like that, and try to solve in whatever ways. If there's divorce need to be done, it should be done. If the marriage can continue, then that's better. Try to solve each other's problems. As long as the husband is able to carry out his duty, and he doesn't fall into the three categories which allows fasakh. For the wife, how the husband decides, it's very easy. He can hold her, he can continue his life with her. If he doesn't like, he can divorce her. Finds the matter is unacceptable. Is acceptable or not acceptable is always according to our understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all sins as long they do not do shirk. But sometimes, of course, certain things, it's really, really unacceptable. An example, one of the couple fall into zina. Or not only fall into zina, but he does zina often. Something unacceptable. In some communities, premarital sexual behaviors have become pervasive. That some prospective husband or wives have requested for their partners to take an STD test before they commit to the marriage. What is the Sharia guidance on this matter? This is good. You have a medical report from the doctor, or even the best way, if for a husband, the prospective groom, if he wants to get married to this lady, he might also want to make sure that she is virgin, or maybe her hymen is intact, so she can tell her to go to the gynae to check and to get the report. And this is one of the good measures that parents can do before they marry off their daughters, so that the father will know what is the state of the daughter, and if there will be any problems in the future, he will try to understand how to overcome. So he makes sure that if his daughter has never been married before, he makes sure that he surrenders his daughter to the prospective groom in a perfect condition. If she's married before, then there's no need to check. Unless if she claims that she has not had any relationship with the previous husband. Tamam. Allah Alam. To take an STD test is okay. It's mubah. There's no harm in it. Probably it's good also to make sure that the prospective groom is sure that she is clean from all kind of sicknesses. Even the prospective bride will also know that she is clean. He is clean from all kind of sicknesses. Understanding of nushuz. Wife is unable to leave house without husband's permission without valid excuse. What if husband is not gainfully employed? Tamam. Either he's always changing jobs or he's a drug addict, for an example, and the family with many children is in need of wife to work and gain income, but husband doesn't allow wife to go out to work. Is this considered an exception? Yes. If the husband is not able to earn, and then the only one who can earn is the wife, then the wife can go out to earn her living. When the husband is not able to give nafaqah to the wife, he actually has for 3 days. As how we have mentioned, if he doesn't give nafaqah for 3 days intentionally, and if he's able to do nafaqah, then fasakh will be allowed at that point. But what if he is not able to give nafaqah to her? She's allowed to work, but she's not supposed to do more than what she needs to do. There's no overtime, there's no overtime or second job or whatever it is. Is a husband allowed to stop wife from visiting her own parents or family members? This incident happened during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when there was a lady. Her husband was away, and then her father fell sick. So she asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, my husband is away and my father is sick. Can I visit my father? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, do you have your husband's permission? And then she says, no, Ya Rasul. She said, no, Ya Rasulullah. And then Rasulullah said, then you should stay at home. And then second time, when the father when his sick got worse, and she asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam again. Rasulullah said, then stay at home. Until 3 times, until his father passed away. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven all your father's sins because of your patience. Unless if you know, you are sure, and you are sure that your husband is pleased, if you will go and visit your parents, even you don't have his permission, that is fine for you to go. If you're unsure, maybe my husband might be pleased, maybe my husband will not be pleased, then you are not allowed to. But if you are sure 100%, my husband will be pleased if I go visit my father, if I'm unable to contact him, I'm unable to get permission from him, then I'll visit my father. Because I'm sure if I go out and my father is in that situation, my husband will be happy, he's fine with it. Then it's okay. The measurement is ilmul rida, means assurance that he will be pleased. He will be pleased. It doesn't mean that, khalas, you have done it, done. What is done is done. That's not enough. Or maybe he will give, okay, just like that. You must be sure that he will be pleased with your actions, and then you can do it. This is ilmul rida. طيب, inshallah we will continue the next questions next week, inshallah. طيب, now we are going to another chapter, which is very important. The guardian in marriage. The hierarchy of guardians that is foremost to conduct the marriage contract. The foremost person to conduct the marriage contract is the biological father. The biological father, and he has to be considered as father in Sharia. As how we have mentioned, if the child is a child which is out of nikah, he is her biological father, but it's not her father in Sharia. So he is not supposed to carry out the marriage for the biological daughter. Number one is the father, followed by her paternal grandfather, which means her father's father. Paternal grandfather, her father's father. That could also be grandfather from the mother's side. In this matter, when it comes to nikah, the grandfather from the mother's side is not able to carry out her marriage. Is not able to carry out the marriage for her as long as she has relatives from the father's side. If she doesn't have the relatives from the father's side, it will be transferred to the hakim, to the ruler. It will not be transferred to the grandfather from the mother's side. This is about the guardian marriage. Number one, father. Number two, grandfather from the father's side. All this we are speaking about from the father's side. Number three, then, when we mention about forced marriage, as how we have mentioned, only the father is able to force the daughter into marriage, or the grandfather from her father's side in the absence of the father. The grandfather from the father's side in the absence of her father. Only two of them can carry out forced marriage. Other than these two persons, there is no one else allowed to force her into marriage. Not her sisters, not her tribe leader, not her uncles, not her uncle's grandfather, not her whatever it is. No one is allowed to force her into marriage except for her father and her grandfather in the absence of her father, provided she has to be bikr, she has to be virgin, as how we have mentioned earlier. If she's not a virgin, if she has ever fallen into zina, then there is no way for the father or her grandfather in the absence of the father to force her into marriage. The next one that will be her guardian into marriage is her akhu shaqiq. Al-akhu shaqiq means the brother from the same father and same mother. Sometimes your father might have few wives. So the brother that comes from the same mother and father is given precedence over the other brothers from not the same mother. And then next is al-akhu li'ab, brother from the same father but different mother. In the absence of al-akhu shaqiq. This one, all these arrangements comes one after another. That means if there is no al-akhu shaqiq, there is no brothers from the same parents, and then it will be given to the brothers from not the same mother, but from the same father. So it has to be whatever comes before is given precedence after the other one. Which means first you have to look for al-akh shaqiq, the brother from the same father and same mother. If there is no brother from same mother, same father, then it will be transferred to the brother from different mother but same father. And then it goes after that. Next in line is the brother's son. Her brother's son. Since the brother is not around, so she has to get from the brother's son, whose brother is from the same parents. Maybe we shall put it on the whiteboard. You think that would be a good idea? Actually, this bab nikah, by right, we only study this bab nikah after we have studied few books in fiqh. We have studied irth, we have studied inheritance, we have studied tahara, we have studied bab salah, we have studied about many things before we go to bab nikah. Because there's a lot of things which is mentioned here, things got to do with all, rulings got to do with all that has fallen into those topics. But mashallah, labas, we have started and we will continue inshallah. Number one is the father. Tamam. Before that is grandfather. Right? What's after the father? Brothers from same mother and same father. Tamam. We call it what? Paternal brothers. Mana? Betul. Boleh paternal brothers. Tamam. We just put a brother. Tamam. From same parents. Tamam. And then after that, brother from different mother. MashaAllah. His father likes to practice the sunnah of Rasulullah. After that, tamam. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Number 5, her nephew, which comes from the brother from same parents. This is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His son. Okay? Number 6. What's number 6? Okay. Ibn al-Akh LiBab. Third. Ibn al-Akh LiBab. Number 6. Nephew here. From his son. Is this clear? Clear enough? Who is not clear with this? Clear, huh? This is the easiest way we can put it. And next, then the paternal uncle, father's brother. After you have completed whatever comes from your brother, jab. Where is the way in Safar? أيوة تمام ثم الجسمة وإن على ثم الأخ الشقيق ثم الأخ ثم ابن الأخ الشقيق ثم ابن الأخ لأب وإن سفل, which means if this brother from different parents, a different mother, has a son, and we don't find number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 5 is all unavailable. Number 6 is available. Or sometimes this number 6 is not available. Number 6 has a son. Tamam. Then this son of number 6 will be the wali for the lady who is going to get married. Type this number 7 example. This son is not available, but he has another son here. It's number 8. This number 8 will be wali for her nikah. And it continues as long as they have son from this brother from same father but different mother. Continues. Why in Safar? As long as he has son. But if there's brother from parents, and then he has brother from different mother, and then he has nephew. After some times, brother from same parents passed away, or maybe he's gone missing, or if he's traveling, and then who is available? Brother from same father but different mother. he will be the wali. If he will be the wali, that's right. And this nephew can only be the wali for her if this brother is not available. When anyone fall into this situation, they come to us. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to explain. I want to explain, but because of some reasons, it becomes a little bit difficult to explain. But as long as he has sons from here, or as long as he has sons from here, he will be given precedence over the, what we want to mention, over the uncle, over her own paternal uncle, which means her uncle that comes from the same grandfather and same grandmother. Now, there the job of the grandfathers come. The grandfather. Now the grandfather has another son, same uncle, from the same grandmother and same grandfather. Okay, let's say now. That's number 7 here. Let's not make it difficult. Because as long as there's son, all these sons will be given precedence over the maternal uncle. Because she is closer in relation to these sons compared to her uncle. Because these sons come from her brother, and this uncle and this brother come from her father, but this uncle comes from grandfather. So the next one is the maternal uncle. ثم العم الشقيق. After the maternal uncle, I'll leave here. After the maternal uncle, ثم ابن العم الشقيق. After the uncle, ثم العم الشقيق. ثم العم الأب. And then if the paternal uncle is not here, and then number 9, it will be the uncle that comes from the same grandfather but different grandmother. Number 9 is uncle that comes from different grandmother. ثم العم الشقيق ثم عم الأب ثم ابن العم الشقيق ثم ابن العم الأب وإن سفر. And that will, okay, now number 9, uncle from same grandfather but different grandmother. If now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 it's not available, then it comes from the number 10, from the paternal uncle's son, which means your direct cousin, which is now your non-mahram, which means you can get married to him. Your direct cousin, you can get married to him. He will be the wali for you, the son of the paternal uncle. And then, if this is also not available, then it will go to the son of uncle that comes from different grandmother but same grandfather. When we mention about grandfather here, all got to do with the father's father. Nothing got to do with the mother's father. And this, number 11, it continues if he has a son. If he has a son, as long as he has son, the guardianship of marriage will be given to them before it goes to the next one. Right? What's the next one? And the son from the same paternal uncle, the son from paternal uncle is given precedence over the son which comes from same grandfather but different grandmother. Tamam. Baik. ثم عم الأب. And then comes the father's uncle. Yeah. Number 12. Father's uncle, which means ثم العم ثم عم الأب ثم ابنه وإن سفل. Ya salah. Father's uncle. Tamam. Insyaallah. And then after father's uncle, ثم ابنه, the sons of the father's uncle. This is number 13. Father's uncle. After this, everyone, when they go back home, try to make a chart in their notes, so it's easier for them to understand all these terms used. All these terms is used a lot in Sharia. Ammul ab, ammul akhi, yani, mashallah. And then father's uncle's son, and it continues as long as he has son. What? When we translate, we didn't put what in salat. Did we put? We put and so on. Yeah, we put so on. So we are correct. Alhamdulillah, we are right. Tamam. And then ثم عم الأب ثم ابنه وإن سفل ثم عم الجد. After father's uncle, then it will fall into the guardianship of marriage will go to father's uncle's son. Now, if all these 13 is not available, who it will go to? It will go to the grandfather's uncle, if he's still alive, mashallah. The grandfather's number 14. ثم عم الجد ثم عم الأب ثم ابنه وإن سفل ثم عم الجد ثم ابنه وإن سفل. عم الجد, grandfather's uncle. Grandfather's uncle. Now something we forget to mention. As long as she has father, the father is the wali for An-Nikah. If the father is not available, it will go to the grandfather. Now if the grandfather is not around, but the grandfather has a father who's still living, probably her grandfather has passed away. Her father is also has passed away. And then, but she has her great-grandfather. The great-grandfather is still alive. The great-grandfather will be given precedence over the brother. As long as you have someone above you, that person will be given precedence to whoever at your level, or someone who is below you, or even your uncles. Means your father's father. MashaAllah, he's still alive. He will do the nikah for you. And now, if all these 1 to 13 is not around, we will go to the grandfather's uncle. And then his sons. Number 15. His sons. Wa in safar. Son. Tamam. ثم عم أبي الجد. يا سلام. ثم عم أبي الجد. Her great grandfather's uncle. Number 16. ثم عم أبي الجد. Number 16 is the great grandfather's uncle. ثم ابنه, and then his sons. وإن سفر, and it continues. وهكذا على هذا الترتيب في سائر العصبات ويقدم الشقيق منهم على من كان لأب فإذا لم يوجد أحد من عصبات النسب فالمعتق عصبته ثم معتق المعتق ثم عصبته ثم الحاكم أو نائبه. The next one in line, we don't have to draw the picture, probably we don't have any more space. طيب, Then the paternal uncle, father's brother, followed by uncle who is not of the same grandfather but different wives of the grandfather. Tamam. Then her direct cousin, whose father is from the same grandfather and grandmother as the girl's father. Then her direct cousin, whose father is from the same grandfather but different grandmother as the girl's father. And so on. And so on means the son and we must change the translation here. And so on means his son and so on. Because it mentioned that his son. And then next, then her direct cousin whose father is from the same grandfather but different grandmother and as the girl's father and so on. Then the father's uncle, that's how we have mentioned that, followed by his son and so on. This is correct. This translation is correct. Then the grandfather's uncle, that's how we have mentioned that at the above, followed by his son and so on. Then the great grandfather's uncle, and followed by his son and so on. This is how it is arranged in the order which is according to the order of paternal relations in the inheritance division. That is why we mentioned earlier, normally we study bab nikah after we have studied the knowledge of inheritance. The family members who fall under the same parents are given precedence over those who fall under the same father but different mother. For the freed slaves, now let's go into the freed slaves. If there is not a single member of her paternal relations, then the guardianship will be transferred to her liberator, maybe the one who freed her before. Okay? Now, even for the freed slaves, now they are no more slaves. Okay? We are not talking about marriage for the slaves. Marriage for the slaves will come later in the topic where we will discuss. Now, for slaves which has been freed, firstly they should look for their relatives. And those relatives who will give nikah for her will be her guardian in the nikah. Tamam. Just as how we have mentioned earlier. All these 15, 16, 17 people. And normally slaves, normally their family members are missing. Tamam. Because why? Because they are taken as slaves and they are being sold somewhere and they will be separated from their family members for years, maybe 10, 20, 30 years. Okay? So normally they will not have their relatives with them. So what will happen? For the freed slave, if there is not a single member from her paternal relations, then the guardianship will be transferred to her liberator, which means the one who freed her before. Okay? The order then follows the paternal relations of the emancipator. One time liberator, one time emancipator. So, okay, now what if her liberator is not there? The one who freed her is not there. We should look from the relations, from the relatives of her liberator. It means the one who freed her. Now, he is not there, but he has a son, or maybe he has a father, or he has a brother. So those people will be the one who to be her guardian in her marriage. And the arrangement is just as how we have mentioned earlier. The order then follows the paternal relations of the emancipator. In the event that neither the liberator or his paternal relations are available, then the guardianship will be transferred to the one who freed the liberator. Fulana is a freed slave. Okay? Now when she wants to get married, she will look for her relatives. None of her relatives are available. So she will go to the one who freed her. The liberator. And if the liberator is not around, we should look for his relatives. Okay? Now, if the liberator is not around and the relatives is not around, we look back. Was this liberator once a slave or not? If he was once a slave, then we should look for the one who freed the liberator before. And if he is not around, it will go to the who freed the liberator. Right? Will he, after that, mu'atiq mu'atiq, ثم تمام فالمعتق فعصبته ثم معتق المعتق ثم عصبته. Now, if the one who freed the liberator is not around, we will go to his relatives again. Now, if the liberator relative is also not around, then the next we will go to the ruler. ثم الحاكم أو نائبه. Then it will go to the hakim, to the ruler, or the one who has been given authority by the ruler to carry out the marriage contract. تمام. اغفر لي وتب علي إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. It's clear? I hope it's clear. Anyone who doesn't understand can get back to us. تمام. His parents ثم معتق المعتق. Then his paternal relations after that. Just add after the mu'tiq al-mu'tiq, the guardianship will be transferred to the one who freed the liberator, mu'tiq al-mu'tiq, then the relatives of the liberator's liberator. Or maybe you can just put then his relatives, his paternal relations. Then his paternal relations. طيب رب اغفر لي وتب علي إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. That's an ish, and we have done it nicely. We put it nicely again here in ish, in point form, because when we translate the book, we have to translate amana, just as how it's being done by the author. And then we want to add anything after that, we will add, just to make it easier for us to understand. Ruling for when the guardians of nikah are at the same hierarchical level. When the guardians have the same hierarchical level, such as siblings from the same parents, or father, or even uncles, same parents, or from the same father, or even uncles. You have few uncles. You have few brothers from the same father and same mother. Or you have an event when your brothers from the same father and same mother is not around, you will go to the brothers which comes from the same father but different mothers. And then this brother, there are few of them. Maybe, let's say, you have a father and your father get married to 4 wives, and you come from the first wife. And from the first wife, there is no brothers. All his children from the first wife are daughters. But from his second, third, and fourth, he has sons from each of them. So they are all at the same hierarchical level. Then the rightful person to marry her off amongst them is whoever who received the permission from the prospective bride to marry her off. So she herself has to give permission to those brothers. Which one of those brothers she will choose to marry her off? She is the one who choose. Say, oh Fulan, you marry me off to this man. Tamam. Okay? In the event that the woman grants permission to all of them, now all of you marry me. Marry me off to this man. Right? Then all the guardians have to gather during her wedding. All of them have to say that all of them say together, we going to, we marry Fulana, our sister, off to you with such mahar. Together all of them will say. An-Nikah, the ijab, all of them will say together. During her wedding, or by the method of commissioning a person from amongst themselves. Now she has 4 brothers. She said, oh my brothers, marry me off to this man. And then the brothers, they get together. So either all 4 of them will do the ijab at once. Oh, mashallah, the groom will be trampling. All 4 of them, we're going to marry you to our sister. Or they will commission someone amongst themselves, or someone from not amongst themselves, to carry out the ijab. Tamam. Commissioning a person from amongst themselves, or another person that is not from amongst themselves. When permission to marry her off is granted to all of them individually, all of them are able to conduct the marriage contract even without the permission of the remaining guardians. Now she has 4 brothers. She has 4 brothers from the same mother and same father, an example. So she tells this first brother, oh my brother, please marry me off. Or I have given you the permission to marry me off to this man. She goes to the second brother, oh my brother, I give you the permission to marry me off to this man. She goes to the third brother, she says the same thing. She goes to the fourth brother, she says the same thing. So what happens is, in this situation, any of the brothers are allowed to marry her off without the permission of another brother, and without the need to commission someone to carry out the marriage contract for her. It's clear? Should I repeat again? If she goes to every single brother, she has 4 brothers as how we have mentioned. She goes to the first brother and she said, I'm going to, oh my brother, please marry me off to this Fulan. She goes to the second brother and she says that, oh my brother, please marry me off to this Fulan. She does the same thing to the third, and she does the same thing to the fourth. Any of the 1, 2, 3, 4 brothers is able to marry her off with the prospective groom without the need of getting permission from the rest of the brothers. That means the first brother or the second or the third or the fourth can just come and tell the groom, or groom, Fulan, I marry you off to my sister with the mahar Fulan, and she will get married to that groom without the need to ask permission from the rest of the brothers. You see, there are 2 situations here. First situation, she will tell all the brothers, oh my brothers, she gather all the brothers, marry me off to this man. If she does that, all the brothers have to come together to marry her off to that man, or they will appoint one person amongst themselves to marry her off, or they will appoint someone not amongst themselves to marry her off to that prospective groom. This is the situation when she says that, oh my brothers, marry me off to this man. If she's in a situation where she doesn't do that, what does she do? She goes to every single brothers and she says, oh my brother, please marry me off to this man. Oh my brother, please marry me off from this man. Oh my brother, please marry me off to this man. So any of the brothers can marry her off without the permission of the rest of the brothers. So 2 situations. The first situation is when she tells all her brothers, she gets all her brothers together, oh my brothers, please marry me off. The second situation, she goes to every single brother and she mentioned, say, oh my brother, please marry me off. Oh my brother, please marry me off. That means every single brothers, they get personal permission from her to marry her off. Is that clear? Is that clear? No? Very clear. Eh? I hope this is very clear because I like to teach when people understand. If you teach something that people don't understand, then you just they call it shock sendiri. So I don't want to shock sendiri. The most important is that you understand what we teach. The next lesson we will be discussing on the conditions of the guardian. Some people might think, oh, what is this we are learning? Something which is impossible or difficult, I just leave it to the qadi and this and that. In the first place, what we're going to tell you is that as much as you learn, you are taking from the inheritance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The more you learn, the more opportunity you have to preserve the religion. The more you will be aware of Allah's religion. And the more careful you will be to carry out whatever Allah subhanahu has made halal or haram. Never take any religious knowledge as simple as nothing. Whoever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Whosoever honors anything from the shi'ar of the religion, the shi'ar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, verily it's from the result of the heart which is filled with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't take lightly anything which is important in religion. In fact, nowadays, many people don't know anything got to do with all these relations, level, hierarchical level, and this and that. There was one man, we are studying the book of Habib Muhammad bin Salim al-Hafid, Habib Umar's father. He authored this book. There was one man during his time. He came to Habib bin Muhammad bin Salim al-Hafid. He said, Ya Habib, I want to be mutawalli uqud al-ankihah. I want to be amongst those people who carry out marriage contracts. What we call here, naib qadi. I want to be amongst those people. I went to the court. I went to the judge, and the judge said, I need a tazkiyah. I need a recommendation. Since I'm your student, I was your student once, so I need a recommendation from you. Habib said, oh, you need a recommendation from me, okay. What do you know? Give me the 20 situations where the guardianship will be transferred to the hakim, to the ruler. He said, Habib, I don't know. And then he said, tell me about the hierarchical level of guardianship. He said, Habib, I don't know. I've forgotten. He said, you don't remember all that, and you're asking me for a recommendation to recommend you to become an naib qadi? He said, go you don't deserve to receive any recommendation from me. You want to be a naib qadi? As how we have mentioned earlier, we have seen the importance of making sure whether the girl is virgin or not. The importance to know when the guardianship transfer from one person to another. It's very important because why? All these, if it's not in place, then the nikah will not be sah. And then it will be a haram relationship. Then who's going to bear the responsibility? If the one who's carrying out the marriage contract doesn't know about all this, then what is the purpose of us getting those people to carry out the marriage contract when they don't know all this? We mentioned we need certification of nikah. Certification of nikah is one thing. The nikah can be valid even without you. The nikah can be valid even without having, if it's not in the presence of naib qadi. The nikah will be valid. That is not one of the conditions of nikah, to have a naib qadi next to you. But that is the reason why we get naib qadi. Why? To make sure that, for him to make sure that this marriage is valid and lawful, and it will be, marriage will continue, will not have any problem in the future. That's the reason why we get you. It is not the reason why we get you just to get the certificates. Certificates, mashallah, I can print for you. There is no need for certificates. In the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has got to do with citizenship, children, birth cert, that's something else. But in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't need certificate for the marriage to be sah. What you need is to make sure that the marriage is sah. That is why sometimes we see scholars, they might get married without naib qadi, but at the same time, they still try as much as possible to get naib qadi in their presence. Because why? To teach people the importance of having naib qadi during marriage. But now the problem comes when the naib qadi himself doesn't know what's happening. The naib qadi himself doesn't know what is happening. And we received one question about that. And I was wondering, if the naib qadi doesn't know what he's doing, then what's happening here? Someone gone into marriage when she has not completed her iddah. But she is, of course, she's excused. She is not naib qadi. If the naib qadi is not able to teach her, not able to tell her that not able to find out whether she has completed her iddah or not, and then she goes into another marriage, then who's going to bear the responsibility? Something which is very serious. It's not a play game. Something very serious. That is why we need to study. Forget about all those people who they don't want to study. They think that this is not important. They might not even know about anything what we have discussed here. Forget about that, no problem. We want to take the inheritance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We want to make sure that we ourselves go into the marriage which is valid. That is very important. And we want to teach others as well. If we have friends, we can help them. If we have family members, we can help them. Don't only think about ourselves. As long I'm done, as long my marriage is sahih, that's all matters. I don't really care about other people. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man lam yahtamma bi amri al-muslimin, falaysa minhum." Whosoever doesn't care about the matters of the Muslims, they are not amongst the Muslims. Okay, he's a Muslim, but in Akhirah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to bring you up together with the Muslims, what are you going to be? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection from such thing. Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin.